Good morning and thanks very much for tuning in to Traders 20 on ET Now. I'm Megha Chadha.
Hi everyone, I'm Avan the Bash. Remember, Traders 20 is the show where you get a daily dose of 20 fresh stock ideas so that you can have a profitable trading day. We'll get in our top technical experts over the next 30 minutes so that you get some of the most exciting bets in the market.
Well, that's not all. We will also be showcasing commodity ideas as well as strategies to help you make the best of the futures and options market. So here's what the lineup looks like for today. We've got Ashwini Gujral joining in from New Delhi, Mitesh Thakkar, Sandeep Wagle, Dr. Naran from Mumbai, Rajat Bose from Kolkata and Deepak Mohani from Pune.
Okay, and of course for the markets we're hovering at that 5250 level, a smidge below it at 5247 as we speak, and for the Sensex it's 17,356, so not too much happening. The advanced decline ratio though seems to be in favor of the gaining side. Let's pull up some of the big losers today, and the weakness is fairly prevalent in the technology and the IT packs, so Infi and TCS naturally would feature on that list. Apart from that, you've got banking, which is low, so you've got IDFC and HDFC. Ambuja Cements once again, now it's at 179.6. Bharti, Airtel, Tata Motors as well as Hero Motocorp and Tata Power down and out. On the gaining side though, Reliance Industries, that's giving a good fillip to the index at 771. Unilever, so once again defensives rearing their head. You've got Power Grid, Ranbaxy as well as Arcom and Dr. Reddy's holding up pretty smartly. Well, let's get the ball rolling and start off with Traders 20. But first off, here's a disclaimer from our end. Do remember that if you choose to take on board any of the positions that are recommended on the show, it's mandatory that you do consult your financial advisor. Starting off with Ashwini Gujral and Mitesh Thakkar joining in from New Delhi and Mumbai respectively. Ashwini, what's on the list today?
Well, today I'm a bit more positive than the past few days. And some stocks are coming back from correction. The first one is Airlines, on which really the rest of the market is probably dependent if we have to move up from here. So this has hit levels of 750, 760, from where it's bounced back. It's a good buy right now at 760 with a target about 790. A lot of people wanted to buy above 800, but right now is the time to get into Reliance. It's completed a strong correction on almost down to this 200 DMA. Similarly, Dabur, that's moving to new intermediate highs. This is a buy with a stop about 124, target of 135. Z Entertainment has had a decent correction, almost to its 50 DMA. So this is a buy with a stop about 162, target of 176. And DV's Lab seems to be starting an intermediate correction. So this is a sell with a stop about 1110, target about 1040.
Okay, so 3 buying and 1 short idea is what Ashwini is recommending. And Mitesh, you also have a largely bullish buys this morning?
Oh yes, I think I think a lot of stocks are showing signs of some kind of minor bottoming out, and we have seen some intraday buy signals happening on stocks. One of them is Havells, which appears to have completed a correction and is bouncing back and go back to 581, and I would suggest buying this one with a stop at 549. So as I mentioned, I think a lot of intraday long signals were observed on the chart of Havells. I think the other one which I picked up is McDowell's or United Spirits. The stock has been buzzing around. We've had some calls earlier as well, but I think today what it's done is that after a few days of struggling around the 985, 990 mark, managed to get past those levels. It's made a fresh swing high, and the medium-term chart remains quite positive over here. So I think I would suggest this with the buying with a slightly position kind of a bias with a stop at about 986 and a price target of 1100 on the upside. State Bank of India is a different case altogether. It's a stock which has been declining, has been oversold for some days. I think now it's trying to show some kind of reversals from oversold levels. Could give you minor technical rally or technical bounce back, as we put it. Can be bought with a stop at 1844 for a price target of 1900. And I've got a sell on ACC, and we have been negative on cement for some time. I think very clearly the entire sector and the stock is going through a corrective downtrend in the short term, and I would suggest selling this with a stop at 1322 for a price target of 1250.
Okay, so a buy call on Havells, McDowell's, SBI, ACC is a shorting candidate according to Mitesh. Time to get individual stock queries answered, the ones that you've sent in, of course. The first query comes in on Coal India. We've got Mahesh Sabhani. He's joining in on the phone line from New Delhi with a query on the same. Mahesh, welcome to the show. Thanks very much for joining in. What's your query on Coal India?
A very good morning to all of you. I have 137 shares of Coal India in the IPO allotment. Around 360 there appears to be a strong barrier. It is not moving above that. So what should be the strategy? To sell at this level and buy some other share or hold on to this? I can hold for a long time, 1 year or 2 years.
Well, if you can hear the news flow these days, you know that, the government will not let coal really prosper, as it hasn't let, oil exploration in the PSU space come up. So, it's an ONGC type of stock. When the price of the commodity goes up, you can't get the benefit. When the price goes down, you are losing money anyway. So, I think more or less the big money is done in Coal India. But still, if you want to hold on, you can keep a stop of 345. The day it starts closing below 345, just take your money and go home. And in case it does not take out 345, then further targets could be 390 and 420, where you should definitely get out. Because, the way the government likes to run its companies or the business, it's not conducive for the small shareholder. So you got in on the IPO, you made some money. If I were you, I would move into a space where there isn't as much government interference.
Okay, Subhash, so those were some critical levels that you need to be watching out for Coal India. But let's also pull up a Kingfisher Airlines, because that's reacting to some positive news. Do remember, the airline actually is grappling and dealing with a heavy debt burden of close to 6,000 crore rupees. And the latest news on that front is, as per the wires, is that Vijay Mallya has given a 5,900 crore rupee guarantee to the Kingfisher Airline lenders. To remember, as per media reports, it's also suggested that the lenders to the airline would be meeting tomorrow to discuss the various avenues before it. It is, of course, going to be led by the State Bank of India. So there'll be more developments coming forth on that front. But on the back of that, that particular bit of personal guarantee coming forth from the promoter of the airline, that's Vijay Mallya, that's taken the stock higher by about close to 9%. So 10 rupees is the level that a Kingfisher airline is trading at right now. The volume chart as well would give you more details on the traction that the counter is building up right now. So it's a 6,000 crore rupee guarantee that's coming forth from Vijay Mallya, and the volume front as well. You can see a sudden spike come in on the counter in the last few minutes. But let's move on from that and address the second query for the day then. This one comes in on a defensive name. We've got Surendra Amin with us. Surendra, hi. Good to have you with us. Go ahead with your question on Cipla.
Madam. Hello.
Yes, Surendra. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I have 3 questions on Cipla. In the meanwhile, I would wish Mr. Gujral also very good morning. What is the minimum and maximum price it can reach to? Second, what can happen if overpriced case does not result in favor of company? And third, is Cipla a candidate of takeover by multinational companies?
Well, I think Cipla management has clearly said that they will never sell out, because they are not businessmen, they are, technocrats. And if, the original management is doing a good job, why do you want somebody else to take over? Number one. Number two, it's been 23 years, you have such a large holding, take some profit and spend that money also, life is short. In any case, the advice on the stock is that it's hit a new high. Now that's a very significant event, which when it happens after long consolidation. Cipla was underperforming till recently when it came out with good results, and now the stock is hitting new highs. There are at least $100 more on the table, which means levels of 470, 480. Theoretically, that space has opened up. But, if I were you, I would keep now a stop about 350 to 360 and then ride out the move, because you must remember that pharma is a defensive space. Right now, growth is low. Hence, a lot of defensive money is also moving into pharma. But in case growth starts picking up, and that cycle will come, the whole world can't keep growing slowly for all times to come. That should be the time when you take some profits off, when Cipla gets to those 480, 500 type of zones. Because, it's not a stock now which will go 5 times from here. It's like a Ranbaxy or a Dr. Reddy, which is in a broad range. and now it's breaking out, and another 100 points and it should be done. Most pharma stocks don't go 10 times and 15 times. So keep taking profits as the stock rises. When it comes back down, you can add back to your holding.
That's the advice on Cipla, and remember, for the past many days it's been a steady up move. Today a bit of profit booking, 381.5 for Cipla on last count. The next query comes in on a candidate which saw a block deal this morning, that's Torrent Power. We've got a query sent in to us via email from Seema in Pune. Seema wants to know if it's the right level to buy into Torrent Power at the current levels. Ashwini, at 160, what should she do?
Well, it's in a deep downtrend. And yes, today, for some reason, there has been a block deal and stock has gone up 7-8%. But, you need to be sure that the trend has turned before you buy a stock in a downtrend. That, I think, will happen only if we start crossing 176, 180. The stock has fallen from 350 to about 150. So it's literally become 30% of what it was. So please be very sure that the trend has turned. That, I think, that level is once we start trading above 180. The other thing is that power stocks are, the sector is in trouble. So make sure that the sector is with you as well when you get in, because the stock cannot perform in isolation. It needs a sector tailwind with it, and that probably will happen once the stock crosses 180. Once it does that, longer term, you can easily find targets of 250 plus on this stock, and then you have a clear stop about 145, 150.
Okay, so Seema, that's the advice coming your way on a Torrent Power. Ashwini believes the counter is in a downtrend, so do take a look at the bigger picture before you decide to pick it up. But here's a disclaimer then for Seema and all the viewers who have tuned in that there are a whole host of stocks that are discussed on the show. So please consult your financial advisor before taking any positions.
And remember, if you want to send in your questions and queries, you're welcome to do so, because we are here to help you out. This is the one-stop shop for your questions. Email us at bnsn@etnow.tv. You can SMS BNSN followed by your name and your query to 58888, or just pick up the phone and call us on 022-248-37111.
Well, time for a quick break, but come right back, because on the other side, Sandeep Baglia as well as Dr. C.K. Narayan would be joining in.